the Juggalo Professor, Nasty Green Ninja Master, nobody important. Coming to drop this like after class special, after school special episode of Juggalo Professor's Wicked Clown Blow Your Dome Science Show. And just in response to something that happened a little earlier where somebody who watched the show thought it was smart to send me a message with a link to a Nightline episode of ICP where they were talking about the gang violence and how they got labeled as a gang, and all that did was serve to reinforce my aforementioned statement that a very powerful person in the entertainment industry used their legal connections to cause it to happen, because before that story ran, there wasn't any stories. And that story ran roughly 6 to 8 months before the actual gang label was placed, and it focused on merchandising. So, to jackass dickwad that sent me that text, I sent them the text or a link back to the Psychopathic Records full interview of the thing, and you know, apparently people don't realize that, you know, Mr. Bashir is just a fucking talking head for the people up above him, and he just gets paid to say what they want him to say, how they want him to say it. He's not a fucking journalist. He's a patsy, just like the fucking FBI. And the reality is, ICP's been bumping the shit since '91, and if there was an actual problem with Juggalo gang violence, I think it would have surfaced before 2010 or 2007 or, you know, what the fuck ever. You know, it would have happened a long ass time ago. So, this is for all the juggalos, juggalettes, ninjas, ninjets out there. It's just a personal slice of information of something we need to start asking back out to the people, okay? Because if the FBI and the legal authorities see it fit to take these isolated incidences of people who call themselves juggalos who have committed heinous acts, I mean fucking just stupid heinous acts, okay? And they use those acts and the people who claim them to be juggalos to label all juggalos as a gang, then I just want all juggalos and juggalettes to ask this question: then why aren't we labeling the Christians and the Catholics as a gang as well? Seriously, why aren't we? Because, you know, in my lifetime, I've seen more heinous acts of random violence committed by Christians in the name of God and their righteous justice, okay? Like in the 80s, shooting of doctors and shooting of nurses and shooting of teachers because they were doing the work of Satan. Throughout the 90s, throughout the early 2000s, the list goes on and on and on and on, all right? So they all did shit in the name of Christianity. And where I live in Spokane, Washington, I got two really good examples. We got Kevin Coe, the serial rapist, back in the 70s. He was raping bitches left and right, okay? He's a good Catholic dude, you know, local, you know, Catholic boy. Whoop whoop, you know. And my best example, why aren't we calling the Christians a gang? Because we got this dude here, you know, Robert Yates, serial killer. Robert Yates. The dude is on world tour because he was killing people all around the globe, all right? So, and he was a good, upstanding person in the Lutheran church that he went to. He was a good family member, a good community person, you know, strong in his work with the Air Force. Oh shit, he worked in the Air Force. You know, this good Christian, wholesome family man had a fucking dead body outside of his bedroom window, and him and his boy used to play ball on top of it. So, why don't we call the Christians a gang? Because they're doing shit in the name of God. It's sanctified by their church. It's justified by their religion and by their holy book. That's what they're using to justify it. So they're an organized, system. They're an organized religion. Whenever one of their people commits something really bad, a pastor from their faith comes in to, help them out. But every single day, in every single state in this union, somebody is hurt in the name of God. Okay? So, the gang violence happens every single day in the name of God. Okay? And then Catholicism. I mean, Jesus, let's call those guys a gang. They have, for their holy symbol, a mutilated, tortured, bloody body strung up on a device of torture and execution that they show up to every Sunday to pay homage to. Okay? And the story of their faith, the story of Christendom faith, we got this holy deity, God, who engages in statutory rape of a 12 to 14-year-old girl. The jury's still out on the age, but engages in statutory rape of a 12 to 14-year-old girl, and she gets pregnant, and to be saved from stoning, winds up marrying this, 40-year-old dude, and then leaves the area to give birth to God's bastard child. I mean, hello? Okay? And then the Bible itself is full of justifiable examples of homicide, genocide, rape, murder, pillage, all in the name of God. King David himself, if you're with me or against me, are you with me or are you against me? If you're with me, okay, cool, come and dine at my table. If you are against me, I will cut you down. That's right out of the scripture, yo. So, and then, with Catholicism, we got the saints, okay? Let's do the dude Cyril, okay? He was Archbishop of Alexandria. He got sainted because he killed the chief librarian of the Library of Alexandria, who was a woman, okay, and a good-looking woman, and then burned the library down to the ground, destroyed all this works of 700 years worth of knowledge. And so he was sainted for it. Okay? Warp ahead a little bit further to my favorite. I love this one. My all-time favorite saint, Saint Patrick. Okay? This dude was sainted for committing an act of mass genocide in a single day across an entire nation. Organized mass genocide. All right? That's what St. Patrick's Day is all about, is the day of mass genocide. And the pinch is to symbolize the sword prick of all the people that fucking got killed. Hello? We're celebrating a mass genocide. Religiously. And they're not labeled a gang. And yet ICP and all juggalos and juggalettes get labeled as a gang because of some kids that identified with the music in some fashion, and the popular media spins it to work in favor of a gang label. Okay, well, we all know who controls the popular media. So please, if we're going to label ICP and juggalos as a gang because of some criminal acts, then we need to label Christendom and Catholicism as a gang because of decades of criminal acts and celebrations of mass genocides, holding communion over a dead body. Hello? Can we say skewed, bias, prejudice? The news reports were spin-doctored, slanderous stories that misrepresented the actual full story and misrepresented the truth and were done in such a way so that people's opinions would be skewed one way, and nobody actually really ever listened to the music. Nobody's ever listened to a full album. The albums themselves are parables. You want to talk about bloody fucking parables, go through the fucking Bible. I was raised with it. I almost became a Pentecostal preacher. Back to the whole thing, you want to, misrepresent the parables of the stories that are put forth by ICP and all of the other juggalos that are, produced by Psychopathic Records, then you need to widen the camera lens to encompass everybody across the board without bias, without prejudice, because right now that's all it is it's prejudice and it's biased. Period. There's no grounds for the gang label, and if you're going to use the grounds that you're using for a gang label, then the FBI needs to label everybody equally across the board as a gang, period, or they need to drop the gang label, period. It's straight up, in your face prejudice. Stick that in your fucking pipe and smoke it, FBI. Prejudice, patsy bitches.